Arthur was born in 1863 to parents Beatrice Morgan and Lyle Morgan. Arthur's mother was a gentle and kind soul compared to his father, who would abuse him and his mother. Unfortunately, Beatrice Morgan passed away when Arthur was only 11 years old. With the death of his wife, Lyle Morgan started spiraling out of control, abusing his son more and getting sloppy when committing crimes. Eventually, Lyle was caught stealing and was charged with larceny and sentenced to death. After his death, to keep his father close to him, Arthur took his hat and a picture of his father. For the next 3 years of young Arthur's life, he was homeless and started getting into petty crimes just like his father. In 1878, Arthur was caught committing one of these petty crimes. Luckily, it wasn't a civilian or a lawman. It was Dutch Vanderlyn and Hosea Matthews. Seeing potential in young Arthur, the two took him under their wing, becoming father figures for Arthur. At the age of 14, Arthur already knew Dutch and Hosea and was learning to become one of the best criminals of their generation. Free from the constraints of law and civilization, Dutch and Hosea taught Arthur how to read, write, hunt, fight, shoot, and ride. After 2 years of working with Dutch and Hosea, the three decided to found a gang called the Vanderlyn Gang, which comes from one of the leaders, Dutch Vanderlyn. Soon after Arthur bought his first horse, Boudica, things started looking up for Arthur. He had a new horse, he was starting to get more money, not to mention he met a girl named Mary Linton. Overall, it just seemed like life was looking good for Arthur. Mary and Arthur soon fell in love, becoming engaged. Unfortunately, Mary's father did not approve of their relationship. This put a strain in their relationship, and they ended up calling off their engagement. Later on, in 1885, Dutch saves a 12-year-old boy, John Marson, an orphan who was about to be hung for trying to steal from homesteaders. Dutch and Hosea induct the young boy into the gang, where Arthur and him grow close, bonding through different crimes and adventures. In 1880, Arthur met a waitress, Eliza Bloom. After hooking up, Arthur learns that he got Eliza pregnant. Soon after, Eliza gives birth to their son, Isaac. Because of his lifestyle, Arthur became an absent father, only seeing his son every couple of months. Eliza, recognizing that there was nothing she could do to change that, allowed Arthur to come and visit when he would pass through town. In a conversation with Rains Fall, the pacifist chief of the Wapiti tribe, he tells him that this wasn't the life for Eliza, and they both knew it. Arthur saw her as a good person and didn't want to make any promises that he couldn't keep, but at the same time, he wanted to give them everything. One day, while passing through town and riding to Eliza's house, he sees 2 crosses sitting on the porch. He knows what this means instantly. Unfortunately, Eliza and Isaac had both been killed. Later, we learned that they had both been shot over just $10. Never really coping with the loss of his son, he starts resenting the life he built, and finally sees that being an outlaw won't bring the best things your way. Unfortunately, Arthur had been diagnosed with tuberculosis and died in 1889 while looking out on a sunset.